you for the invite. I remember the times I went to Iceland, and so type a me on the chat if you were there during those trainings. I gotta say, so I'm from Mexico. So Mexico by far is my favorite country, but Iceland is like number two. Like I love, 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 love your country. So when I was asked to do this call, I was like, yes, of course, take me back to Iceland. So for those of you, yes, I see some of you guys were there. So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Carla, and I've actually been in the business for a really, really long time. I'm not gonna go into too much of my story because I know we don't have a lot of time together, and I want to make sure my commitment and my intention is that from this call, not only do you get some information, some inspiration, some motivation, and things like that, but more importantly, like that you come out of here with a plan. Like my commitment is for you to come out of here with the plan. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about me, just so you have a little bit of a point, because I see that a lot of you. This is the first time. Type a one on the chat if this is your first time that we are together. Type a one on the chat. Okay. So Iceland, type a one on the chat. Okay. All right. So all of us. Okay. Great. Okay. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about me. So I'm originally from Mexico, and we came here to the U.S. I now live in L.A., but we came here to the U.S., and we really came like a lot of people come, and that is really chasing the American dream, okay? And we came, my parents, with a bunch of family. It was 1983, something like that. It was a long time ago, and they really came to look for an opportunity. They didn't come to the US to work. They really came to look for an opportunity. But, they started working, they started doing whatever they were doing. And then we ended up moving to Sacramento from the Bay Area, which is like the San Francisco area. We moved to Sacramento. And, and I want you to write something. I want you to write this in your notes. There we go. I want you to write this in your notes. Change is good. Okay, I know a lot of people on the line. Type a zero. Be honest, okay? If you don't deal good with change. Type a zero on the chat if that is you, okay? But here's the thing, especially after this year, like we really needed to adapt to change, like at a moment's notice, right? So, we came to the U.S. and then we were in the Bay Area, and something about the Latin culture is that most of the time we're like always living around each other. Okay, like the grandmas, everybody lives near each other. So we ended up moving about 2.5 hours away. And that change is what literally shifted our life. And we ended up moving to Sacramento. And I remember it was so hot. We're like, why are we here? Sometimes, and you want to write this down, sometimes you don't know why, and you just have to trust the process. Like sometimes you just have to trust the process. Yes, we went horseback riding. I remember that. Sorry. Okay, you guys, don't give me memories, Iceland, because then you're going to get me all distracted because I had such a great time. The food. Anyway, okay, focus, Carla. And so you got to trust the process, right? So we ended up moving there, and then about a few years later, okay, my parents were talking about their finances and how they were not doing all that great. And about 2 weeks later, we found the business. Okay, so here's something as we are now in the new year. What is it, January 12th? Okay, here's something you want to make sure you keep your mind open, and that is that your words have power. Okay, your words have power. So we must be so cautious about what we're asking. And write this down. Powerful questions will give you powerful answers. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, okay? Okay, so because you don't know me, you guys, I keep things very real, okay? My commitment during this call is to never make anybody feel bad, but it is to speak the truth, okay? So I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I hope I have permission. Yes, Sonia, I have a permission to not sugar. Okay, great. Okay, so she said yes, okay? So I'm just gonna let it rip. So here's the thing. Dumb questions will give you dumb answers. So if you're asking yourself, why does this always happen to me? When am I? You start asking those unnecessary questions, you're going to get really dumb answers. But instead, if you're asking, what does this mean? Okay, how can I use this? And you start asking those powerful questions. So anyhow, My parents asked a very profound, very powerful question, and that is they started asking, like, how can we, how you say it in English, salir adelante, how can we progress in life? Like, what do we need to do? And they started looking, and those that look will find. Right? And so 2 weeks later, we found this business opportunity. And I remember the guy, and here's another thing I want you to write down, okay? Seek every opportunity and take advantage of every opportunity that's handed to you. See, sometimes we ask for things, and then whoever you believe in, okay, God, I'm going to say, brings it to you or gives you exposure to it, and then you push it away. Like, you're asking for something, and then, but here's the thing, it doesn't always come the way you think it's going to come. All right, so here they were asking for an opportunity. We went to go, my mom and I went into the store, this leather store, and the guy asked us, write down this question, who do you know? That is $1 million question, okay? Again, remember, powerful questions will give you powerful answers. So he asked, who do you know? And then he said Mexico, but you don't have to say that, okay? Who do you know that would like to make some extra money? And immediately I had heard the conversation by my parents. So I said, my dad. And the guy came, and long story short, my dad got signed up, started doing the business. I watched him do the business. I never, ever, 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 ever thought I was going to do this business. I was like, oh no, oh no. See, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And here's the thing, okay? I'm just going to tell you me, okay? I thought that that creating wealth or creating success was going to look a certain way, okay? That was going to look with these fancy business cards in the sky rise of a building. I was going to wear these beautiful clothes and all that stuff, okay? So that was my picture that society, to be honest with you, gave me. Right? All the movies and these successful people with these suits and all this stuff, right? Sometimes what we don't know is what's behind that. But anyway, so I went up to college. I graduated from USC. And when I graduated, I got a job for 3 whole months. We're going to talk about the 90-day plan right now, okay? So I had, without even knowing, I did a 90-day plan with this company. And what ended up happening was I ended up quitting after 90 days. I never got my last check. I'm not going to go into the whole detail, but I was like, this is not for me. And immediately I started my business. So I started my business with only $6 to my name. But and so I'm just going to disclaimer, this is not typical, but with a lot of hard work, dedication, and focus, okay, this is what could be possible. In 13 months, I had hit the millionaires team. Okay, for those of you who don't know what that means my business that year was projected to generate over $1 million in sales. In 13 months, I generated that result. Now, I'm going to tell you how I did that today. But here's the thing I want you to know. The moment I started my business, I treated it like $1 million business. I want you to write that down. Okay? Well, I don't know actually what your goals are, but I'm going to assume actually put a type a 10 on the chat if you are really looking to create generational wealth. You're really looking to create a lot of income for yourself, whatever a lot means for you. Okay, everyone, a lot means different things to different people. Okay, great, everybody. Oh yeah, well, you guys are the leadership, duh. Okay, either way, right? You never know. So here's the thing, right? So if all of you guys who are typing a 10 are saying, yes, I want to create, generational wealth, and yes, I want to create a big business, I want you to ask yourself, how are you treating your business? How are you treating it? Are you treating it like a hobby? And here's the thing, okay? I'm going to invite you. Okay, I'm getting hot now. I was super cold. I have these Uggs in my feet. So let me take these off because now, see, I get all passionate when it comes to the business. I'm like, I can talk business all day long, every day, all day. Okay, I'm just going to get comfortable. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Okay, I'm not wearing sweats, by the way. I got all dressed up for you guys. But I'm going to get comfortable because we're going to have a conversation. Okay, so is that okay with you guys? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you for those of you guys who have your cameras on. All right, awesome. So here's the thing, right? You want to ask yourself, how am I treating this business? And actually, you want to ask yourself that question in anything that matters to you. okay, in anything that matters to you. So, like, for example, right, if your relationship matters to you, you want to ask yourself, how am I treating this relationship? If your body matters to you, you want to ask yourself, how am I treating my body? So, like, whatever matters to you, Iceland, you need to ask yourself, how am I treating it? But in the sake of this conversation, I am talking to the leaders of Iceland. So I'm going to assume that we're going to just talk about business, but goes to applies to everything, okay? So how are you treating your business? Are you treating it like $1 million business? Or are you treating it like a hobby? Okay? So you want to ask yourself that, and you want to be ridiculously honest with yourself. Here's the thing, okay? You do not want to lie. Okay, look it. Well, first of all, you shouldn't lie to anybody, but there's one person you should never lie to is yourself. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you know the truth. And I'm just going to tell you something, okay? When you start to lie to yourself, your personal integrity is compromised. Your personal integrity is compromised. So I'm going to highly recommend you don't do that. Okay, so here we are. How are you treating your business? Okay, so if you really want to have a big business, you must start adapting a big committed attitude and mentality. Okay, so here's the deal. I know your country is like gorgeous and beautiful. And people there are just so lovely. Okay, I really mean this. I love Iceland. Like, I love Iceland. Like, I told my husband, I'm going to take you one day there. We're going to go to the Blue Lagoon, and we're going to go, I love your country. And the reason why your country is so beautiful is because the people that live there, you guys, I'm not just saying this, okay? You guys are beautiful people. You're very chill. You're very loving. Now, here's the problem with that. I'm just going to keep it real. Because you guys are so chill and loving, okay, sometimes what I can notice in people, I don't know about you, but in some people, that they adapt that into their business. Meaning, yes, you want to be beautiful with people, you want to be loving with people, but meaning they start to be calm about their business. Like, oh, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. Or they start like, we need calls. Who's going to do the call? Or they start, not you guys, okay, maybe nobody on the line, but just people out there, right? They don't take ownership of their business. And they're always waiting for somebody else to do it. So I'm going to tell you one of the secrets of why I grew so fast in my business. Write this down. I took underline the word total responsibility. Now, did I plug in to what was already existing? Absolutely. Was I plugged into the calls? Absolutely. Well, back then we didn't have calls, okay? We didn't have Zoom. Zoom did not exist. Okay, but we had STSs. I plugged into things that were already existing. However, anytime, and I really want you guys to take this on, anytime I saw a gap in my business, here's the question I would ask myself. Or anytime one of my distributors would come to me with a question or a problem, I would ask this question. What can I do to fix this? Or what can I do so this never happens again? Or what can I do? What can I put in place to help my team? So I was always in solution-oriented mode. I never, ever, even today, I shouldn't say that. 90% of my career, okay, so I'm sure there's one time I have, okay, but I've like 90% of my career, 90% of the time, I have not waited on anybody else. Not for an idea, not for a challenge, not for anything. I get an idea and I don't ask for permission, okay? Like, I just implement it. Because here's the deal. Maybe, okay, let me see if I can pronounce your guys' name. Okay, I am not even going to try. Dios mío santo. Like you guys' names, I know every time okay, I'm gonna tell you, okay, let me find somebody's name. Alyssa, yes? All right, good. Okay, I can say that name. Okay, so let's say Alyssa has let's just say she has a very different personality than I do, as an example. Well, what's gonna work for her and what is gonna make her happy and what's gonna bring her joy might not be what brings me happiness and brings me joy. Therefore, what makes her happy and joyful is going to give her success. What's going to bring me happiness and joyful is going to bring me success. So here's what I want you to write down. I must pay attention to how I'm feeling. Okay? Now, let me finish this and I'm going to tell you what I don't mean. I don't mean I don't feel like getting on the call. That's not that you shouldn't pay attention to that feeling. No. Okay? That's not the feeling I'm talking about. Not the, oh, I don't feel like drinking my tea. I'm drinking, I don't even know what is in here. A lot of stuff is in here. Not that feeling like, oh, I don't feel like drinking my shake. No. Not that feeling. Don't listen to those feelings. Those feelings are going to deviate you from your success. I'm talking about the feelings, like the feeling that you have when you're doing something. Not enough of us don't pay attention to that. So for example, like in case you can't tell, I come alive when I'm talking about the business. So this is like what we call my sweet spot. There's a book called True North, okay? And it's like, it's a workbook, okay? The workbook, not the book, okay? I'll show it to you in a second. It's back here somewhere, okay? But this book, this workbook, talks about how to find your authentic leadership. And in that workbook, okay, it talks about your sweet spot. And that is when you're doing something that things just flow. You just glow. You're just like, you come alive. Okay, this is my sweet spot. Now, get me to clean the toilet. I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be like, are you kidding me? Now, there's some people that love to clean, that love the smell of clean. Okay, like I love the smell, but I don't like to do it. Okay, there's some people that love to bake. Okay, now, okay, you can make like donuts and muffins and pancakes with our Herbalife products, right? Like that's not my sweet spot. Like some of my team, they make them and they make everything so beautiful. I'm like, wow, that's their sweet spot. Okay, so you must pay attention to how you're feeling. Why? Because as you're working, I'm going to get to the 90-day plan. As you're working your 90-day plan, you want to do things that make you feel amazing. That make you like, I really love this. But if you're doing something like this freaking sucks, then you're not going to do it for a long period of time. Now, don't get me wrong. There are going to be some things that you must do, even though they're not your sweet spot. But you got to do them in order to do more of what you love. For example, I love coaching people on the business. I love it. Now, if nobody's listening, okay, I can get on Zoom like we are right now and be like, coaching who? Okay? So there's work that needs to happen in order to do the things you love. So the work could be, well, maybe not now, but back then I did a lot of flyers. I did a lot of personal contacts. Okay, so now it's going to be, so I want you to write this down. What is going to be my marketing plan? I'm not talking about the compensation plan. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about marketing your business out there to the world. Okay? So I'm going to be really honest with you. That I'm not no more. Okay? That was one of my weaknesses. Okay? Like I can go and talk to almost anybody. Okay? I'm not shy when it comes to my business. Okay? Other things I am. But you're like, let's talk about business. And I'm like, whoa, I like come alive. Okay? But in order for me to do this, in order for me to coach a team, in order for me to do that, I've got to reverse engineer it. So let's get into the 90-day plan. So I wanted to just get your mindset going about what is it going to take, okay? What is it going to take for you to build a big business? And here's the thing, okay? I want you to write this down before I go into that, okay? And that is this, okay? So many times, we hear people say, I grew in the business the moment, type of one if you've heard this, okay? The moment I made a decision, I grew to the next level. How many of you guys have heard that? Okay, all right, almost everybody. Okay, great. Now, be honest, okay? Let's be honest here, okay? How many of you have made a decision in your life about the business and you still haven't gotten to that decision you made? Type a big zero. Type a big fat zero, okay? How many of you? Yes, right? Yeah, me too. Too many times to want to admit, okay? Like, this is it. This is my year. This is it. I'm getting to the president's team or whatever, right? But why doesn't it happen? Okay, why doesn't it happen even though you made the decision? There's two things that I feel that I'm only going to speak for myself, okay? There's two things that have, when I have had them in conjunction with the decision, that really got me to the next level, okay? So I'm going to share with you what those are. Number one has been when I made a decision with a burning desire. Okay, number one, I had a decision plus a burning desire. It's like a little formula, okay? We're going to do a formula here. Decision plus a burning desire. What does that mean? That means that you have this thing inside of you. Like, do you remember your first love? Like the first time, whether it's your current significant other or not. Okay, maybe you were like in elementary school or something, right? Or in high school. And that person was like, oh my God, right? They would call you. Well, back then, yeah, we had phones back then. They would call you. Okay, I'm really old, obviously, right? But they would call you and you're like, oh my God, shh, be quiet. Hi. That kind of burning desire. Like the kind of burning desire where when you're with people or certain people, that time goes by like that. You can't stop thinking about him or her. That kind of burning desire is what I'm talking about. So yes, you need to make a decision. Like, yes, this is the decision. Like, draw a line on the sand. Okay. And for some of you, it might be like, enough, I'm going to lose this weight. Enough, I'm going to stop making excuses. Enough, I'm going to like plug into all the meetings with the camera on. Enough, I'm not missing another STS. Like, those types of decisions will create the momentum. If you add that with a burning desire where you just can't stop thinking about it, like that's all you think about, okay? Now don't get obsessed. Don't like neglect the other things in your life. Because I don't know of you, but I have done that where I'm juggling over here and then all the balls are falling over here. I'm like, let me pick those up. And then I pick them up over here and then all of them fall over here, right? So I'm going to give you a little tip on how to make sure that doesn't happen, okay? It's a work in progress, but you got to be conscious of that when you're doing it. But anyway, so plus a burning desire where you don't stop thinking about your goal. You can't stop thinking about what you want. Plus, okay, and here it is. Plus a commitment. Like, you can have a burning desire and you can be thinking every morning, every night about your next level. You can be thinking every morning, every night about losing those 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. You can think about every day, every night about, buying that new home, getting that new car, taking your family on vacations. You can be thinking about it, and you're like, I have this burning desire. And then I'm like, what did you do this week? And you're like, and you didn't take action. I've been there too. Okay? I've been there one too many times. But the moment I also added commitment to it, everything changed. Okay? The moment I not only decided, had a burning desire, but really committed to it, is when my brain, it's almost like you know how you have like a lock and it has numbers, right, to unlock it, and you have like, number 1, then 224, then I don't know, 36, and then boom, the lock opens. To me, those 3 things are my 3 numbers to unlock that internal power. Now, I want you to think, okay, for a second. I want you to think about, when was there a time? I want you to think about it, okay? When was there a time in your life that you made things happen and you didn't even know how? Whether it was when you qualified to supervisor. Do you say supervisor in your country? Yes? Okay, great. So whether it was when you qualified to supervisor, or when you qualified to active supervisor, or world team, or get team, whatever you've accomplished, or maybe it was, when you lost those first 20, 30 pounds. Okay? So I'm going to be quiet for like 30 seconds, and I want you to think about when you had that momentum, like, what was happening? Like, how did you feel? Okay? What were you thinking? So just think for a second. Okay? So I can almost bet that if you really are honest, during that time, you had what I like to call like this effortless flow. And by the way, this effortless flow also brings you this glow. Like, you're just like moving. Actually, you know what? Something tells me to tell you this. I want you to write this question down. I want you to grab, if you're taking notes, I hope you are, okay? I want you to grab a blank paper, okay? Just a blank paper. And I'm going to give you a gift, okay? Something tells me I'm going to do, and I really hope that you guys take this on, okay? And I want you to ask hold on, let me see if I can say, don't write it down yet. Let me see if I can say it correctly. Okay, here we go. What was I doing? Write that down in a new paper. What was I doing? And who was I being? B-E-I-N-G. What was I doing? And who was I being when I had, I like to call, there's no such thing as effortless, okay? But I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Like when you had effortless success. Like when things were just flowing. When you were in the groove. There we go. What was I doing and who was I being when I was in the groove? Okay? Don't write anything else on that paper. Okay, let's go back to your other notes. Because here's the thing. I really want to invite you guys today, as soon as we get off the call, I'm going to remind you, okay? And that is to make sure you answer those questions. The reason is because that's going to tap you in to that internal winning formula. That's going to tap you in to your internal power. That's going to tap you in to your internal greatness. You have that in you. If you're on this call, it's because someone thought you were great because of what you've been doing, of who you've been in this business. You're not on this call just because you have, beautiful blonde hair. Okay, some of you, okay? You're on this call because you earned it. Whatever you did or did back then or doing, you earned it. So here's the thing. You have it in you. Sometimes we just forget who we are. We just forget who we are. And we forget what we want. We forget that burning desire. We forget that internal goal. And when you forget that, you lose motivation. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got to Mill Team, relatively fast. And then I was stuck at Mill Team for 5 years. And I remember going to trainings and I was like, this is my year. And then I would do nothing. And then I would go to a training and I would be so inspired. I would be so, as they say now here in America. Okay, I don't say this, but they say it a lot here. There, I was so fired up. That's what they say a lot, okay? I was so fired up, like they say. And then I would go on Monday, and then I would wake up the same way, do the same thing, have the same thoughts, have the same habits. Like, really, nothing changed. It wasn't until I made the commitment, like, okay, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let me show you what I did this year. Where is my thing? Hold on. Okay, so I'm getting all kinds of downloads, like the universe is telling me things to tell you. So this was not what I was going to talk about. I had all this planned out, but you know, I just go with my heart. But let me just see here. Okay, anyway, we'll get to that later. Okay, so I hope this is being helpful. Is this being helpful? Okay, awesome. Okay, so here's the deal, right? So you go back to your old ways of being. And the reason is because although you get out of, some of you guys are going to be like, oh my God, Sonia, that was the best call ever. Okay? And then, look, I've done it. And then you get off the call and your kid made a mess, right? And then your significant other's like, what are we having for dinner? And then you're like, oh man, I just got interrupted with my flow. Okay? Or then tomorrow something happens and then it takes you off your tracks. Look, okay? I got back from Mexico on Saturday and I was so excited. We were like doing Future President's Team retreat event on Zoom, and all this training was so amazing. And I was like, okay. And I have my little plan. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And I was like, okay. And then my husband got into an accident yesterday, right? And guess what I did? Not yesterday, Sunday. And he was in the hospital. He's been in the hospital since Sunday. So guess what happened? My plans got completely shifted. Write this down. Temporarily. It's okay if your kid is making a mess and then this is happening and then you gotta manage. I don't want to say deal, okay? You gotta manage what you need to manage. But if you know your commitment, you go right back into it. It's like you're on the tracks, right? I love to say this. And then life or someone pushes you off your tracks. And now the train is off the tracks. How do you get back on it? How do you get back on it? Here's how you get back on it. You reconnect with your commitment. You reconnect with your commitment. Now, here's the thing. You will forget. Well, I'm just okay. I don't say you. I forget my commitment. So here's what I did. And Sonia, because I love you so much, I promise I'm going to send this to you, okay? You just have to remind me, okay? All right.
No
you guys, huh?
No problem. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Am I saying your name right?
Sonia, yeah?
Okay. I just want to make sure because you looked at me like, I was like, wait. Okay, good. Okay. So you guys, numbers are my thing. Names, that's all good, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I promise you guys, Iceland, I promise you, I'm going to send it to her, okay? I promise you, okay? So don't worry. Be like, what is she looking at? Don't worry, okay? But it's a 90-day to big goals, okay? And let me tell you something. I'm going to confess something to you. This is the first time ever that I've done this. Okay? And look it, I'm Executive President's Team 15K. I was going to wear my earrings, but they're like somewhere in the house. We just got back and I have not unpacked. So I'm like, I don't even know where they're at, but it's okay. Okay? So 15K President's Team. But here's what I've done. I've done my own 90-day plan. I'm going to show you what it is, okay? But now I'm like, okay, my goal is really, really big. Okay? For the first time ever in my life, like I've said I wanted things, but I didn't really want them. Like I said it because everybody else was saying it. Or like they'd be like, you want chairmans? I'm like, yeah, I'll be chairmans, but I really didn't want it. Like I really didn't. I'm just being honest with you. Okay? But something has happened this year. Actually, I'm going to tell you what happened. Every 8 to 10 years around there, at least here in America, we have an economic crisis every 8 to 10 years. If you look back at history, we had 9/11, and then we had the house crisis. Now we've got this COVID thing worldwide, right? So every 8 to 10 years, this is what happens. So I started to think, like, I'm 43 years old. I know you guys cannot believe that, but I am 43 years old, okay? And I started to think, we're going to have another economic crisis when I'm about 50, 51. And that kind of like freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, I've never thought about myself older. So I started to think, like, how do I want to be when that economical crisis hits? Like, how do I want the economical crisis to find me at 51? Okay, so I can't say because we're being recorded and I'll get in trouble with the company, but just use your imagination how I want to be found, okay? So because I have a big game in my head, I've got big plans, okay? So here's what ended up happening, okay? I'm gonna break it down for you, but don't worry, I promise I'm gonna give you this, okay? And here's the thing, Sonia, I am going to ask you for something. Do not just send it to everybody. Wait until they ask you for it. And the reason I'm saying that is because one of the things that I have discovered is that so many times we want it for others more than they want it for themselves. And I'm going to ask you, I just thought about this right now. Don't give it to them free. Make them give you, I don't know, $5. I don't think that's a lot of money in Iceland. Is that a lot of money in Iceland? Okay, we'll figure it out, okay? But I'm going to ask you to ask them to give you something and you're going to donate it somewhere. Doesn't even have to be a lot of money, okay? But here's the thing, even if it's $1, it's having an exchange, okay? It's like you asking them for $1 and then you're going to give them this plan or whatever it is, okay, Iceland? Okay, and if she gets, and I'm going to type it and then you're going to say, this is what Carla said, okay? And then we'll donate it to somewhere there in Iceland to the beautiful little horses you guys have that I just think they're so cute. All right, so here's the deal, right? So why am I saying this to you? Because as I've been doing this, okay, it has you write down what is your plan for the week. It first has you write down your goals, okay? I'm not going to go into this. You guys will get this yourselves. It's going to ask you for your goals. And then it's going to ask you why you want them and what milestones do you need. Like, it literally walks you step by step, okay? Then it's going to ask you to project your week, okay? Then it's going to ask you, and this is what's the best part of it, I think. How many times have you heard track your progress, track your progress, track your progress, right? And so many times I have set, this I'm going to tell you my experience, I have set goals in the past, and then I don't revisit them until like December 31st. I'm like, oh, there goes another year, right? And I'm like, or here's the deal, right? Or every quarter event, you guys have quarter events there, yes? Okay, so every quarter event, like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I said I was gonna qualify VIP and I didn't. Or every vacation, oh, you guys get me, yes? You guys, I don't have to repeat this. You guys are all leaders. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what this thing does, okay? It actually tells you review and reset. And it actually, so I did this on Sunday. Sunday night I did this. And it says, what percentage of your actions did you complete? What went well? What can you improve on this coming week? Right? And I was like, so I'm not going to read them. It's kind of embarrassing. But, I was like, okay, I didn't have a very good week. But guess what? How powerful is that? That because I actually stopped and took the time to look at my week, I am setting up this week more powerfully, more intention. Because I was like, okay, well, I didn't do that. Oh, because it also has you do like what are the actions for this week? And look at how many I didn't do. All the little lines are things I didn't do. Okay? No bueno. But guess what? If I didn't do this, based on my past history, I wouldn't have reflected on this until April LDW. And then I'm like, okay, well, like my royalties haven't grown, my personal business hasn't grown. And then, no. For extravaganza, this is it. This 90-day plan, I'm gonna get to work. Type a 1 if you've done that. Type a 1 if you know what the heck I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So only some of you participate. That's okay. Okay, because I see how many of you guys are on the call, and then I see the responses. But that's okay. How you do one thing, you do everything. Okay? How you do one thing, you do everything. If you can't even participate on this Zoom call, I'm just going to keep it real. They said I could. If you can't even participate on this Zoom call, I'm only going to assume how you're showing up in life. Oh, okay. Okay, there come the ones. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So here we go. Here's how you're going to do your 90-day plan, okay? So I'm going to literally, for those of you who want it, you're going to reach out to Sonia. You're going to pay her something. We'll figure it out. Nothing crazy, okay? We'll donate it to someone. Sonia's not going to keep it, okay? But it's just the thought. It's called exchange of energy. I should have thought that before because I gave it to some of my team. I asked them, whoever wants it, let me know. And they did. I just sent it to them. I'm going to reach out to them and say, you owe me $5. Okay. Anyway, okay. So here we go. 90-day plan. Here's what you want to do. Number 1. Okay. Number 1. Okay. So I already talked about the desire and all that kind of stuff, right? Number 1. What is it that you truly desire to achieve? Okay. What do you truly desire to achieve in 2021? And you guys, this is going to guide you. Okay? Okay? This is going to guide you. All right? You guys, Iceland used to be like, what was it? The highest, what was it, Sonia? The highest per capita something.
Highest voting points per capita.
Are you still?
We're close to. Yeah, I think we are. How could she knows the numbers more.
Okay, great. Well, guess what? What if you guys become number 1 again? And what if the team on this Zoom is who's going to make it happen? Here's the thing, you guys. There's so much work to be done in Iceland. Okay? But here's the deal. I don't know. Something tells me to tell you this. Are you waiting for somebody else to create it? Like, I don't know. So many times. Now, see, I don't want to cause trouble, okay? But here's the thing. A lot of the times we wait for our president's team members to or we wait for our millionaire team members to or we wait for the Get team members to move the momentum, move the needle, make things happen. But here's the thing, whose name is on your check? Yours. So while, my father is my sponsor, he's also a Chairman's Club member. The guy, he works, but not really. If I'm honest with you, he's not building like he was before. Imagine if I would have waited. If I'm waiting for him to tell me what to do. Dad, let's do these calls. Dad, let's do this. Let's do that. I would not be where I am today. Okay? This last year, my team, I don't know if they're on, but they won't let me lie. Like when the epidemic hit, I freaked out and I locked myself in this office. I was like, what am I going to do? What can I do? Write down these 2 questions. I don't know how the epidemic COVID thing is in Iceland. Okay. But it doesn't even matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. Because here's the deal, right? No matter what happens, it could be COVID. It could be your kid throwing a tantrum. Okay? Sometimes things happen because they're out of your control. So here are the 2 questions that I ask myself a lot. And here's what I ask myself. What can I do? What can I do? In this time in March 15th, when that thing hit and we got shut down, I could no longer do what I was doing. So I was asking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And then I asked, ¿Qué puedo hacer? ¿Qué voy a hacer? What am I going to do? What can I do? What am I going to do? What can I do? Like, what can I do with what I have? What can I do? You're a mom and you got 20,000 children running around pulling your hairs. What can you do? Wake up earlier. What can you do when they're taking a nap? What can you do? Do what I do. I stick them in the tub while I'm doing the call. Like they're playing in the bathtub while I'm on Zoom. What can I do? And then what am I going to do? Create a plan, etc. Okay? So something told me to tell you that maybe that was for somebody on the line, because they're like, I don't have time. No, don't do that. Okay? Some of us have so much time, we do nothing compared to someone who doesn't have time. They say, you want something done? Give it to a busy person. Oh, smack, I'm running out of time. Okay, here we go. Number 1. What do you desire to achieve 2021? Like, no kidding. Like, don't put something down just because you think everybody wants. Like, no, don't do that. And maybe it's not a pin level. Maybe it's an amount of money. Maybe it's putting your kid in daycare. Maybe it's putting your kid in private school. Maybe it's having somebody to come and clean your house. I don't know. Okay? What do you really desire? Okay? Now, number 2. Okay, I'm going to read this slowly, okay? I want you to stop. Write that down. Stop. Analyze. What are the key things that you need to accomplish that? So stop. You need to stop and do this. Like, stop, sit your butt down, go to the toilet, shut the door, lock it, okay, where nobody interrupts you. Okay, stop and analyze. What are the key things, right? Underline the word key things. What are the key things you need to accomplish this? For example, let's say some of you guys are like, I want to get to the next level. Maybe some of the key things that you need is new business. I'm just going to say this. All of us, every single one, I don't care what your goal is. We need new business. Maybe something it's going to be like, I need to learn how to work with my team. I need to be more committed. I need to have a system. I need to put together a structure. I need to organize my time. I don't know. What are the key things? It's more than one, by the way, to accomplish your desire. What are the key things that you need to accomplish that thing that was number 1? Number 3. Plan of actions with an S. Okay? What is your plan of actions? Not your plan of action. Plan of actions. Like, what is going to be your plan to create those actions? Okay? What is going to be your plan of action? For example, okay? What are you going to do to generate new leads to get new business? Like, what is going to be your marketing campaign? What is going to be your marketing method? What are you going to do? Are you going to go talk to people? Are you going to do Facebook? Are you going to do Instagram? Are you going to do, what do they have? TikTok? Are you going to do House Party or something like, I don't even know the new app, something house, something. Okay. What are you going to do to create it? And the book I'm going to send you is going to help you with that. Okay. Okay. Maybe you're like, you know what? I need to create a system. And then you're like, I don't even know how to do that. So maybe one of the things that you need to do, one of the plan of actions, is contact someone who has a step-by-step system. Okay? So number 3, what's going to be your plan of actions? Actions. Okay? Number 4. Okay? Here it is. And the thing I'm going to send Sonia that you're going to buy, okay? By the way, I'm not going to take the money. We're going to give it away to somebody, I don't know, to the little horses in Iceland. Okay? Number 4, maybe you should save it so when I go, we go on the Jeep again. Okay, number 4. Focus, Carla. Number 4, you're going to schedule it and track it. So whatever, okay? So you're going to have your goal. What is your desire for 2021? Okay? You're going to stop and analyze. What do I need? What do I need? And you're going to make a list of all the things that you need in order to accomplish that desire. Okay? Number 3, what is going to be your plan of actions? What is the action that you're going to take for those things that you need? Like if you're like, okay, I need new business. Then you're going to be like, how am I going to get it? I need a system. How am I going to do that? I need to organize myself better. How am I going to organize myself? It's like, it's not just enough to know what you need. You got to have a plan. Like, what am I going to do? Okay? And number 4, you're going to schedule it and track it. And this book that I'm going to send you is going to help you with that. Okay, by the way, it's just paper, okay? I just decorated it all cute, okay? So I thought it looked cute. But anyway, so number 4 is you're gonna schedule it and then you're gonna track it. Like you're gonna schedule what you're gonna do, okay? When you're gonna do it, and then every week, okay, like this thing is gonna teach you, you're gonna review, how am I doing, how am I doing, how am I doing? This way you're not waiting until December 31st, 2021, and you're like, oh, there goes another year. Or you're not going to wait till April LDW to be like, or whenever Iceland has their leadership training, you'll be like, oh, there goes another 90-day plan. No. Okay? And here, before I complete this call, I'm going to tell you guys something, okay? I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. You guys are, I really mean this. You guys have a beautiful country. You guys have beautiful people. Now, it's time to get to work. No more, this is my year, and then another year goes on. No more, and then you don't. No more of that, okay? Actually, write down one more thing. Ask yourself this. How am I going to hold myself accountable? Okay? Now, everybody's different. You might ask somebody to hold you accountable. I don't do too good when people hold me accountable, okay? I'm pretty good about holding myself accountable. But but some of you need someone to be like, how are you doing? How are you doing? Because you've always had a job. You always had a job, so you always had someone telling you what to do, okay? So me, I'm like here. And I also tell my husband, like, this is what I'm going to do, okay? And then like, I see that he sees that I'm doing it. So guess what? He's like being more supportive. I'm like, okay, this is good. He helps me with my son a little bit more. I'm like, okay, this is good. Okay, so how are you going to hold yourself accountable? All right? So I just want to say, you guys, thank you so much. I really hope that you found this helpful. Anything that I can do for you guys, honestly, like I love Iceland. I will be there one day again. Okay, I'm going to take my husband with me. We're going to go on the Jeeps. We're going to go see the waterfalls and all that great stuff. Okay? So thank you so much, Sonia, for inviting me. And I'll turn the call back to you. All right, guys, if you like this video, share it, comment, and hit the little arrow and share it with somebody. Goodbye.